If you want something fresh and delicious for spring, try making a fruit pizza with a cookie crust. It starts with refrigerated cookie dough, some cream cheese, sugar, a little bit of vanilla, and then of course you need some fresh fruit to top it all off and a little bit of preserves. First, of course, we have to make the crust. I have a parchment lined pan. This is a 12-inch pan. And I'm making a round one, like a pizza this time. And basically what I like to do when you have this tube of the cookie dough is just kind of slice it. This was sitting out a little bit longer than usual, so it's a little bit on the sticky side, but that's okay. It'll all work out just fine. So slice up your dough and just kind of start spreading it out along the pan. Once it's all kind of cut up and ready to go, then I just start pressing. And you just keep pressing the dough, making a nice flat layer and pushing the dough pieces into each other to form a solid crust. As you can see, it's just, there's nothing necessarily complicated about this. It's pretty easy, but it does take a little bit of patience because you just want to work with it and make sure that that you have a nice, smooth, and uniform surface for your crust. You can see I'm being real picky here about making the surface smooth, but basically once that's ready to go, you stick it in the oven and we'll bake it for 16 to 20 minutes. Now, what you also should be keeping an eye on is the color. I like to make sure I'm baking to this kind of golden brown color and then set it aside because it needs to cool thoroughly before we put anything on it. But in the meantime, we can start preparing our fruit. I'm going to start with kiwi. This makes a really fun fruit to put on your pizza. So first, of course, cut away all of the skin from your kiwi. And I'm going to show you, I like to use actually an egg slicer for this. So I take the bottom part out and then just use this slicing part to gently but firmly press down through the kiwi. And when you get to the bottom, you might have to flip it over and kind of push the kiwi through. But what you're rewarded with is these perfectly uniform slices of kiwi. They're the same width. It's all done in one fell swoop, and they're ready to go. You can also cut the kiwi in half lengthwise first, and then slice them after that with the egg slicer. That's perfect if you want half moons of the kiwi. I've done this both ways. Works just great either way. But I just wanted to show you this kind of a different way of looking at an egg slicer. It comes in really handy when I'm making a fruit pizza because the other fruit I like to make with it is strawberries. So I have these really gigantic pieces of strawberry and I'm cutting off the end. They actually have kind of white ends with the stem, so I cut the whole part off, slice right through them with the egg slicer, and again, what this is giving me is nice, perfect, uniform slices of that strawberry just ready to go on the pizza. Ta-da! Beautiful. I'm also going to make pieces of mandarin orange. Now, typically, to be honest, I've probably made this, if not 100, then close to 100 times. And most of the time, I just grab a can of mandarin oranges. But I already had a big old bag of fresh mandarin oranges, so I thought, well, why not? Let's use the fresh stuff. So what I'm doing with these is simply peeling. The beautiful thing about mandarin oranges is how easy they are to peel. Get as much of the little stringy stuff out of there, out of the middle and out of the outer part as well as the inner part, and then just kind of slice them. Now, this particular orange broke into thirds. Sometimes if they hold together, you can make a slice and have a full circle of the mandarin orange, which is very attractive. In this case, you just kind of have to go with whatever your orange is doing. So now we will start to make the cream cheese layer for the pizza. And all it is cream cheese, sugar, and a little bit of vanilla. Whip it up really, really well. You want to make sure the sugar is dissolved and the whipped cream is nice and kind of on the fluffy side, and spreadable, which is why I've got a butter knife, because that's what I'm going to use to spread this. My pizza crust is completely cooled, and I will just kind of spoon this cream cheese stuff onto the crust. And then when it's all on there, I can just spread it out and make it nice and even and ready to receive that delicious fresh fruit. Now, when you decorate the pizza, you kind of want to think about, okay, what are all the colors I have and what are all the shapes I have? I always like to start from the middle, build out from there, but make sure that there's a variety of the fruits and vegetables. I have plenty of berries. I used the slices of strawberries, and actually when I get to the outside of it, there always seems to be this awkward edge where nothing I have is quite going to fit, so then I'll cut the strawberries into smaller pieces and use that to line the outside just to kind of finish it off. Then once I have all the fruit on here, you actually can be done here. What I like to do as a final finishing step is to kind of mix up a little bit of jam or jelly. This is apricot jam. Apple jelly works really well too if you can find it. Because I'm looking for something with a neutral color. I don't want to actually change the color of my fruit, but give it a little bit of a glaze on top. It's not meant to change the taste at all. Simply preserve the fruit a little bit, like protect it from the air. That way you're avoiding any browning that might be tempted to happen, but also just kind of give it that nice, shiny appearance that a glaze does. I used, by the way, I spooned in way more jam or jelly than anyone in their world would ever need. I'd say 1 or 2 tablespoons would definitely be enough, but whatever. It's up to you to decide when you have enough, to be honest. But look at how lovely this looks. You want to stick it in the fridge to set up for usually about an hour, but once it is, then this is ready to cut. I like to cut these in squares. I have tried triangles. The crust gets just a little bit too soft for that. So instead, I really like squares. They'll come out of there really nicely, especially if you've lined your pan with parchment paper. And lift that out, put it on your serving plate, and that's ready to go. The one thing I can tell you is that one piece is typically not enough for anyone, at least not in my house. So add another piece right away, and then you're ready to serve. I really hope you give this delicious fruit pizza a try. It's the best way to celebrate spring, and if you try it, I know you'll love it. Enjoy.